guys, it's day 100, today's video, and then we're done this 100 days of LeetCode. It's been a long time. It's been fun. Hopefully you guys have learned something. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the videos. So let's do this problem and get it over with. Easy problem, number 290, word pattern. So we're given a pattern in a string S, and we want to find if S follows the same pattern. Here, follow means a full match, such that there is a bijection between a letter in pattern and a non-empty word in S. A bijection in mathematics is basically a type of function where there's two sets. You can think of it as input and output, and each member of the input is mapped to one member of the output, and each member of the output is mapped to one member of the input. And there are no elements in either of the sets that don't have mappings. So what that essentially means is that in our pattern A, B, B, A, this A is going to map to a letter, or to a word, excuse me. This B is going to map to a word, and we want to make sure that all the B's in this string map to the same word, and all the A's in this string map to the same word as well. Also, we have to check the other way. We want to ensure that each word in this string maps to one letter, and that each instance of that same word maps to the same letter. Okay, so we're going to solve this problem using two hash maps. Okay, we're just going to call one one way. We're going to call one other way. In that one maps one way, the other one maps the other way. That's just I think that's pretty easy way to check that. Okay, now the one thing we're going to check right off the bat is we're going to check whether or not the length of the string, our pattern string, is the same as the amount of words in S. But first we got to split S. So what we can say is we can say the words equals S dot split. And in Python, if you don't specify an argument, split automatically splits a string on white space. So now we're going to have dog, cat, cat, dog for that particular example in a list. Okay, so we want to check whether or not length of S is equal to length of the word. So we can say if length of S, if not length of S, is equal to length of the words, right? If that's not true, we're going to return false. Because like I said, one element of a bijection is that, or one attribute of a bijection is that there cannot be any elements in either of the sets that aren't mapped, right? There can't be any one left out. And that's why we have to ensure that they're the same length. Okay, so now that we have that, we want to iterate through either of them. So we can just say for I in range length, let's do pattern. But at this point, you know, if we're here, we know that they're the same length. So you could even put the words there, but we'll just do pattern. What we're going to do is we're going to check if let's do pattern. We're going to check if pattern I is in one way. Well, we have to make sure that its value, right? So this would be the key. We have to make sure that the value of that key is the same as the words I, right? We want to make sure that the value of that key is the same as the word that we're at this particular index, right? Because if it's not, then we don't have a bijection. So what we want to say is if not, what is that? One way pattern I equals the words I, right? So if we have a different value for that key, we're going to return false. Okay, now we basically want to check the other way. So now if we have the words I in other way, well, what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, if not other way, the words I equals, what do we have now? Pattern I, right? So if this, in this dictionary, in this hash map, right? It's a dictionary in Python. But if the key, the words I, has a different value, right? Because we say not, then of course we're going to return false here as well. And again, the reason why we're doing this twice, one for each way, is because it's bijection. So the one-to-one relationship has to go both ways, right? So now in else, what we can say is, all right, so we don't have any of this stuff, right? We've come across a new word, we've come across a new character in the string. All we have to do is we have to add that and its corresponding value to the hash maps. So what we can say is other way, and we have the words in that, right? The words I equals pattern I. And you know what? It might have actually been easier if I just, saved these as variables at the top, but alas, I did not. And then we can say one way pattern I is equal to other way, or is equal to the words I, excuse me. And then of course, if we get through all that and we haven't returned false, we can just return true. So let's submit that. Let's see if I made a mistake. And I did make a mistake. So guys, so I made a mistake. It was actually a very simple mistake. It took me a little bit to find it, but it's very simple. Of course, I cannot compare the length of S to the length of the words because that would not be equal, right? S is the string that we split, and the words is the amount of words in that split string. I, of course, have to compare the length of pattern. So that's why we had that mistake. And of course, because of that, this wasn't equal, so we'd be returning false. But now it's good. Okay, so that's how you solve that one, guys. Thanks for watching that. For everyone who subscribed and have been watching my videos, I hope you enjoyed them. And yeah, that's it for the 100 days. And, we'll see where I take the channel. All right, see you guys.